Hi, welcome. This is Dr. John DeMartini. This is one of the most amazing and inspiring shows that you can listen into. If you want to be on the edge of your seats, if you want to open up your heart, if you want to expand your mind, and you want to meet incredible people, stay tuned because you're just about to experience a transformative radio show that will change your life. And you're listening to the Dr. Pat Show that's coming up right next.
The following audio is via a Skype call.
Welcome to the Dr. Pat Show. Talk radio to thrive by. Powerful, inspiring, and coming to you live, bringing you stories of people like you and me, busting through and living life full out. Get ready to dare to wonder what your life would be like if you knew you could not fail. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the show. I'm Dr. Pat. You're listening to the Dr. Pat Show, Transformation Talk Radio, all of the above. And we're just kind of like burning in a new producer for today. Nathan is joining us here today while Benny is passing the baton. So we're going to have we're going to have a lot of fun with Nathan today. We've got a great show. Listen, how many of you have had, let's just say, dreams? How many of you have had dreams? You know, you wake up from them and all of a sudden you feel like your life is needing to lean towards them. You don't really know why. You can't explain it. Actually, this happened to me the other day. And I was sharing my dream with Linda. And I said, my gosh, I can't get it out of my head. I can't get this dream out of my head. I see it as clearly as if I was in the sleep of it. I see it already done. And Linda pretty much has been my friend for a really long time, like 1973, before most of you were even born. And she says, oh, okay, another one of your dreams, Pat. But today I had to bring in some people to help us all with this. Dreams that can save your life. Early warning signs of cancer and other diseases. Now, many of us, we get a sense of when we have dreams, whether it be childhood dreams, whether it's recent dreams, whether it's an interpretation of a dream, and we're wondering how it can help us. I will tell you this, that many of us have had insights from our dreams that are indescribable. We can't describe them, but we know that they are calling us to do something. Today, thanks to two incredible people, we are getting ready to explore dreams that can save your life. Dr. Larry Burke joining us, and Kathleen, I heard Dr. Larry call her Kat. Kathleen O'Keefe Canavas joining me here today. Both of you, this is a very, very amazing book. But most importantly, for both of you, you have been in the world, let's just say, helping people heal, letting magic happen, taking a message out into the world that understands what it's like to be a survivor of anything, Kat, from your experience, right? Cancer survivor. And someone that knows that these precognitive dreams, these things that happen to us, not only provide us with information, but can provide us with solutions. And today, both of you have teamed up in this incredible book to really share what's happening out there in the world, what we should be mindful of, but most importantly, what we can learn, what we can then take action about. That's what I love about this today. Thank you both for joining me. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thanks. It's great to be here.
You know, I want to start out with a chit-chat about the importance of the book, and then we'll get into the details of it. What I mean by importance of the book, if you're like me, you've had a dream, you try to share it with somebody, and basically they either look at you like you're on another planet, or they attempt to try to dissuade you from the dream having any relevance whatsoever. Let's start off with you, Dr. Larry. What do you think of when you have those dreams, right? Like I did the other day, and I'm like, oh my God, Linda, it's as clear as day. This is going to happen. And you're presenting a message that most people, A, don't want to hear, or they don't really believe you. Where do you go from there, Dr. Larry?
Well, I guess if you were in ancient Greece or a Native American, no one would even think twice about that these were very significant, important signs. It's only our culture that seems to have lost the meaning of dreams. I think that's one of the goals of the book is to restore dreams to their rightful place in medicine and healing. And I think we're taking baby steps in that direction at the moment. And the study that we did with the breast cancer dreamers was just a small pilot survey to see, collect some information about who's actually having these dreams. And it's just a platform to do more, I think, important research in coming years.
Well, Kat, I want to ask you this question, and welcome to you to the show. You have experience firsthand, and not only do you have experience firsthand, but you're out there in the world helping others. We now know that while many people believe talk radio is on its way out, it's really not. Now the news says storytelling is the way that is getting everybody's attention. And you both have created this storytelling aspect. This book is about stories so that people can relate and not feel like they lost their mind. I want to ask you this question, Kat, from your point of view. Your survival has been based on your willingness to look at your dreams and what they're telling you. Has that changed in what you've discovered in writing this book at all?
No. If anything, it's just proved to me, and fortunately with all the 41 stories you're talking about, the 41 stories in this book, it just validates that, I'm not alone out here. I'm not special, which is what people would say. Oh, you're special. This just doesn't happen. It does. Because, Larry and I were able to pull these 41 stories together very quickly, Dr. Pat, because when we put the book proposal out, we went into a bidding war. And one of the things in our contract was to have the completed manuscript in, 4 months later, and we only had 3 stories. So they're out there. They're looking for places to share their stories, and we shared them in this book. And one of the reasons why I think dreams are dropping off the radar screen as much as they are is because we are a proven culture, which I think is a good thing. I really like that. Trust in Allah, but tie up your camel sort of thing. And so this book is proving beyond a shadow of a doubt with pathology reports that our dreams can diagnose illness. They can give us precognitive dreams that are going to tell us what will happen in 5 years if something doesn't change. Our dreams are amazing.
They are amazing. And the thing that I love about it, while we are going through a little bit of a ripple effect regarding the word dreams, envisioning, visioning, predetermining, intuitively thinking has never been bigger right now, not just in this country, but in the world. You hear people say, Dr. Larry, people say, gosh, I had a sense of that. So aren't we now more open to look at what the ancients have tapped into so beautifully, so brilliantly, and bring it forth? I mean, anytime, it doesn't matter what kind of old, let's just say, parchment you pick up, whether it's biblical, whether it's ancient Hindi, it doesn't matter. There is someone somewhere in there that's predicting, prophesizing, or better yet, envisioning something happening in the future. So let me ask you, Dr. Larry, are we ready to have an envisioning when it comes to our own health and well-being?
Well, I think modern physics is catching up a little bit with the ancient practitioners, in that people like Dean Radin, who are doing research on the pre-sentiment effect, actually showing that, yes, you can pick up the result of a test a few seconds or even longer ahead of time. And this is rigorous controlled experiments. So if we can pick something up a few seconds ahead of time, what's to say we can't pick it up a week or a month or even a year, as in some of the cases in our story? And of course, this is for the people who are stuck in Newtonian physics, this is very upsetting because that violates the laws of time and space. And therefore, their immediate response is just to deny that it's just an anomaly that they don't want to, doesn't fit their worldview, so they're not going to deal with it. But when you ask people, have you ever had a dream that came true or that, was precognitive? It's a very common experience. And no one can, and people have the experience, but yet, doesn't fit well into the modern worldview. But the worldview is expanding. Let's just say that.
It is expanding. I want to ask you both this question. First of all, I want to ask, what are the lessons that we can learn from the ancients? Let me just say ancients, whether it's Greece, whether it's Egypt, what can we learn? I mean, some people say, let's look at the ancient gentleman called Einstein, right? Uh-huh. This is a guy that will admit it firsthand, I had a little vision about that. Or, I just woke up and there was this. I want to ask you, what is it that we need to carry forth now to contemporary times to help us create a better world through our dreams?
Well, I'm encouraging people to start keeping a dream diary, first of all. It's a simple thing to do. And the nice thing is the sponsor of my my first dream project was dreamscloud.com, and they're essentially the Facebook for dream sharing. And they've got an app. You can keep your dream diary on your smartphone, and that's fitting well in step with the millennials' passion for dreams that got triggered by the movie Inception by Leonardo DiCaprio about 5 years ago. So that's been, lucid dreaming is becoming a hot thing, and I think that it's, but really, and from a family point of view, just great to get people to share their dreams at the breakfast table with their kids. I mean, that would be amazing.
Kat, I want to ask you this question because, it's really clear that your heart and your soul is into making us more aware. There are stories upon stories upon stories in this book. And I want to ask you this question. After writing this, after being part of this, after being part of your own journey, what are you more clear about today than you ever have been?
How important our dreams are. Absolutely. When you have a dream that will not stop bugging you is the best way to put it. It's a bug in your brain to a degree. You see it all the time with some of the stories. The women would have the dream and then they would see it reenacting during the day, especially the ones with the colon cancer, which were very serious. They would see feces everywhere when they were in a boardroom. We're talking about women who were in boardrooms giving, presentations to high-power people, and they see feces all over the table. They won't be ignored. The dreams will not be ignored because it's really not our time to die. We still have something to do. We came down here on this earth plane with a mission. Even if our parents told us we were just we were in an accident in the backseat of a car, we're here accidentally on purpose. We have a mission. And sometimes something gets thrown in our way, like our physical health versus our emotional health or our spirit, and we have to keep them together. It's not our time to die. And that's where, although, sociology remains the same, boy loves girl, girl loves boy, person gets sick, person gets well, it's technology that changes. And science can go so far. It's a gift from our higher power. And then comes our higher power. And that's what this book kept saying over and over. The science kept letting them down. It was their higher power through the sacred dream doors that came in that saved them. And they finally could not ignore it any longer and went and actually self-advocated in a very, very strong way to their doctors. I need another test. I'm not leaving till I get it. I don't care what your tests say so far. I'm not accepting them. Work with me. And when the doctors saw that they were that adamant as they did, and boom, the dreams were right, the science was wrong.
Yeah, and all of us have had that. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to talk about what do we do with our dreams when we get them, and what is it that will help us not only save our lives, but can our dreams help us save the life of another? Dr. Larry joining me here today. Kat, when we come back, we're going to ask you both for information about how people can find out more about you, how they can get a copy of your book. And then, you know what? I love it. We're going to pay it forward. We're going to give copies of the books away right here on the show. I am curious when we come back, did each of you have a dream story that was shared that you absolutely adamantly relate to? What is that? We'll be right back.
Living Lighter Radio with Jason and Patricia. We have an ecosystem approach to your life. Tune in weekly every Monday at 1 p.m. Pacific on Transformation Talk Radio as we, Jason and Patricia, discuss what's truly holding you back. We offer you the tools you need to reach your goals and at the same time be living lighter. For more information about Living Lighter, visit www.livinglighter.org.
Calling all moms, it's time to awaken your vibrant, intuitive, loving self in every area of your life. Join host Debbie Pokornik as she shares thoughts, stories, and tools to help you stand in your power. Listen to Vibrant, Powerful Moms helping everyday women create extraordinary lives. Mondays at 2:30 Pacific, 5:30 Eastern. For more information about Debbie, visit empoweringenergy.com. That's empowering with letters NRG.com.
Tune in to the hit show Raging Skillet Radio, Mouthing Off with Chef Rossi. Chef Rossi mouths off about different subjects in pursuit of breaking down walls and opening up your minds. She and Dr. Pat banter back and forth, taking from the headlines of the day on subjects that reach beyond what goes on in the world into your hearts. And go to theragingskillet.com to find out more and let Chef Rossi know what's on your mind.
Are you looking for the perfect setting for your next workshop or retreat? At Spirit Fire Meditative Retreat Center, cultivating consciousness is what we do best. Our guests count on us to create an atmosphere that supports serenity and well-being. We lead from the heart and create space for the mind. Freshly prepared meals designed with local and organic ingredients, 95 acres of beautiful woods and pastures, and a facility built with green in mind. This is what you'll find at Spirit Fire. For more information, visit spiritfireretreatcenter.com.
Practice living in wholeness with the body tune-up. 6 classes for $89 designed for radical self-healing and self-regeneration. Heal the deepest root of any challenge. The mental body was programmed in negativity, not good enough, separate from source. You're too much, you'll never make it. The emotional body holds all the pain and trauma of emotional suppression, all the pain from this life and life's past. The spiritual body is the place you connect with your higher power, your higher self, with the image and likeness of the One. The physical body houses and expresses the other 3 bodies every day. Go to CorneliaStephanie.com. Evolve, become a practitioner. We need to heal, integrate, and bring into wholeness and harmony the physical body, addressing all the other bodies in order to live in our true, authentic nature.
Yeah. Hey, everybody. Welcome back. I'm Dr. Pat. For more information about us, go to the Dr. Pat Show. Dr. Larry, Kat, what I'd love to do is, first off, please let folks know how they can get a copy of the book, then how they can find out more about you. And you both have something awesome for our listeners. So, Dr. Larry, you want to go first?
My website is www.larryburkemd.com or just larryburk.com. And there's no E on the end of my last name, so it's just B-U-R-K. And on that website, you can find my information about the book and how to order it. But there's also my censored TEDx talk is there, which you can watch as long as you click on the little X in the upper corner of the red banner. And then you can remove the banner. And it got censored by TED because they claimed it didn't meet their scientific criteria, even though I was approaching it in a totally scientific way and didn't make any undue claims about my results to date. But it's a little outside their box, so I'd love for people to watch that. And I'll tell you more about the first couple stories on the TED Talk after Kat introduces.
Sure.
And also the gift I have is I've got the top 10 self-healing mind, body, spirit techniques from my first book, Let Magic Happen, and with little short video clips in each one in the PDF, so you can teach yourself how to do all those fun approaches.
Oh, I'm so glad you did the video to go with those, because that's what folks are saying. They get these tools and folks don't show them how to do it or how to go about it. So thank you so much for that. Kat, how about you? What's the best way for folks to get a hold of you?
Well, you can go to my website, Kathleen O'Keefe, O-K-E-E-F-E, Canavos, K-A-N-A-V-O-S, just like cannabis, but with a V and with a K. And you can buy the book there if you want. There's the Barnes & Noble link. There's the Amazon link. If you go anywhere else and buy the book, just save your receipt, because you'll use it to get a free Video 101 Dream course. You just put the number from the receipt in and you download it, and it also has a dream journal for you to download also.
Awesome. And do you have something you want to tell folks about when they get there?
When they get there, it's going to be right at the top of the page. You can't miss it.
Good. Good.
And it's got everything. It's going to be very, very easy. Very easy.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and what I want to say about the book for those of you out there, Nathan, we're going to go ahead and give a copy of the book away right now. 1-800-930-2819. 1-800-930-2819. What I love about the book is not only are there amazing stories, and we're going to hear from Dr. Larry and from Kat which ones they want to talk about today, but at the end of the story, Kat has an interpretation that she does, and so does Dr. Burke. And what I love about this is I write down my personal interpretation before I read theirs. And I love the differences that come through, but also I love the similarities. The point to all of this is we really do need to pay attention. I know I wouldn't be here today, and I don't think, Kat, you would either, if we didn't pay attention, right? Right?
That's right. Absolutely. Absolutely right.
Yeah. All right. So let's get going with a couple of stories. All right. Dr. Larry.
Okay. So the first 3 women with breast cancer who shared their dreams with me before I actually launched the study were 3 of my close friends. And the first one had a vivid precognitive dream of being operated on by a woman surgeon, and knew exactly where the surgery was going to take place in her breast. Went in to get her mammogram, had no lump, no symptoms, and the radiologist came out and said, your mammogram's fine, you can go home. And she wouldn't leave until they did the ultrasound. And the radiologist refused. They went back and forth, finally did the ultrasound right where she pointed in her breast, and they found the cancer. And the radiologist was pretty shocked. And then a week later, she went to have her appointment for her surgery, and she recognized the woman surgeon from her dream. So that got my attention with that first story. Then the second story was a physician friend of mine who had a couple dreams one night of a serial killer and then of breast cancer. Again, came in and had her mammogram. Again, the radiologist came out and said, mammogram looks okay, you can go home. And she said, and the radiologist goes, you don't look happy. Most people are thrilled when we tell them that news. She said, I'm pretty sure I still have breast cancer. And the radiologist kind of, well, what are you talking about? Well, I had a dream, and it was like right here. And so they pulled the mammogram back out, and they found it based on the dream. So those 2 stories got me started. And then the third friend had a vivid dream, went to her doctor, and the doctor just blew it off and said, it's just normal breast tissue. We're not even going to do a mammogram, just come back, whatever. And she died of breast cancer a few years later. So that was the only person in the whole book who's died so far, was the person whose doctor dismissed their dream.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, for me, what I find interesting about this is, and I wonder, if you two will ever get out into the Lyme disease community, because what you're going to find in that community is an entire segment of the population which medical physicians do not even recognize Lyme disease as a thing. And you'll find that the dreams that are coming to these people on how to treat a disease that nobody knows how to treat, you're going to be blown away. I would like to see you do that study. Kat, how about you?
Well, I'm sorry. What part of the question did you want me to answer?
Which story resonates with you? Which, I know you guys don't have like a favorite story. I'm sure.
No, but we have great
ones. On any given day though, you wake up and you say, I'm thinking about that story about the bubbles.
Mm-hmm.
The tiny bubbles.
Well, I do love the tiny bubble story, and that would be considered a healing dream. Many of the dreams that we were talking about before people found their cancer, but they already had the cancer in their body, would be considered more diagnostic dreams. They had it in their body speaking to them through the sacred dream doors. In my case, with healing bubbles, I would call that a healing dream. And I had been in my chemotherapy, and I was discouraged because my blood cell counts were not coming up quickly enough for me to have my next treatment in time, which meant instead of having 4 treatments over a 3-month period, it was looking like I was going to have 4 treatments over a 5-month period, which kind of keeps it from being quite as strong, knocking everything out. And I was rather upset about that. And then one night I went to sleep after I did my meditations. I do them every night. And I had the most beautiful dream. It was called Tiny Bubble. And it was Don Ho, the Hawaiian singer. I think he just died recently, too. His music was playing in the background, and I was dancing around on a beautiful beach with a bubble kit. And these bubbles would come out really big, and they'd be beautiful. They'd have all the colors of your chakra just kind of moving around on them the way bubbles do. And then they would come back, and they would pop on my body and absorb into my body. And the next morning when I woke up, I thought, something? I think that dream was about my blood cells. So I'm going to go over to Cape Cod Hospital and have a blood test, even though my doctor told me to wait 7 to 10 days to do a blood test because it was going to be another 2 weeks before I could have my next chemotherapy. And because I was so low. I went over to the hospital, had the blood test, and I was normal. I had my next chemotherapy the following day. And this ties into a dream that was actually a story in the book, in the children's section. Dr. Kathy Kemper worked with children who had leukemia. And she walked into this one little girl's room who was having a real hard time, and her blood cell counts were not coming up. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought he was talking to me. Anyhow, she walks into the room, and the little girl's sitting up waiting for her, and they do their rounds really early, like 6:30, and no child wants to be awakened at that time. Wow. So she actually looks at the little girl, and she says, my blood cell counts are up today. I don't have to wait. And Kathy Kemper looked at her and said, how do you know that? She says, well, because the mercury in the thermometer was going up, up, up in my dream. And Kathy was a little anxious about that because normally if you or I were to interpret that dream, we might see mercury on a thermometer, meaning she had popped a fever, which is like panic time. But it wasn't. She was seeing this as her blood cells going up. So they immediately did a blood test because they thought maybe she had an infection, and her blood cell count was normal, and she was able to have her treatment. And that brings us to what Dr. Larry and I always say, you have the answer to your dreams. You can learn your dream language. You can understand and interpret your dreams the way nobody else can. So in the book, we always say, if this were my dream, this is what I would think. Because really, your dreams are yours, and nobody else can interpret them.
Yeah, Dr. Larry, I want to ask you because, I think what Kat is talking about is so important. But most of the time, how often have you heard people say, like an hour later, oh my gosh, I don't remember my dream? So, we know that all of a sudden these magnificent dreams may fade off into the sunset. Tell us about dream journaling and why this is so important to us.
Yeah, I keep my dream journal right by my bed with a pen ready to go. And what I've discovered is that I bought a red LED alarm clock, battery operated, that I can hold up on the and illuminate the page so I can see what I'm writing in the middle of the night. Because if you use a white light or a green light, it disturbs your pineal gland function and have a hard time getting back to sleep. But a red light does not. So that you can still see what you're writing, and you always want to write it down and don't pretend that you're going to remember it in the morning, because that's just, no matter how cool the dream was, you may still have forgotten it by the morning. So always, and then the first thing in the morning, always you can just lay there in bed and think, did I have any dreams, before you get up and even try to write anything down. And then sometimes you can just rehearse them and kind of memorize them before you actually start to put your pen on the paper. And so and of course, if you want to do a smartphone, you can talk in your smartphone. It's a little harder if you got a partner you're sleeping with and you're going to wake them up, but those are your options.
Well, we're going to talk about this thing that I love to do. I used to do this as a kid. I used to wake up and I would have a dream. Now, I didn't have any healing dreams, but I always had dreams about how I was going to overcome obstacles even as a child. So I had all these superheroes that were on my team. And whenever I woke up early, I would go back into my sleep and back into my dream so that I could get the kind of outcome or find the kind of outcome. Now, I have to tell you, back in the day, that sent me off to therapy, that right there with Dr. Jacoby. Now, though, we know that re-entering dreams is kind of the cool thing to do. When would we want to do that, Dr. Larry?
I'll let Kat speak to that, because she's done a lot of work on that.
Go ahead, Kat.
Okay, so re-entering your dream is part of the reasons why you want to journal, because you can incubate a dream. For instance, you're talking about all these super people. You can say, before you go to sleep at night, I want to talk to such and such super person. I want to talk to Superman, or I want to talk to Superwoman, and I want her to help me with this problem. And then in the morning, when you get part of the solution to that problem, you can do exactly what you were doing, which is re-enter your dream by getting back into the bed in this same position and saying, set your intention, I want to re-enter my dream. And that's all part of, incubation. Also, you're setting your intention, you're getting back in. But that's lucid dreaming, which is a really fantastic type of dreaming. And I go through the different types of dreams in the book, and Larry and I worked on those together. But what is so important about a lucid dream, and what I had to chuckle when I heard you say it sent you to therapy, lucid dreaming can be therapy. It can save you a lot of money in therapy, because it can give you the solutions you would take years in therapy to get. And you change the ending of that lucid dream. You change your mindset. You change your life forever. And in the book, I talk about a woman named Linda who was a client of mine, and she said, I'm not going to sleep anymore because I keep having these horrible nightmares that I can't take it anymore. My health is going downhill. My marriage is going downhill. I can't go to work. And I said, so tell me what this dream is. And she said, as soon as I fall asleep, I have a dream where I'm in the living room. It's dark. I'm sitting on the sofa with my husband. We're watching TV. We're in the living room. So you kind of look for the play on words. There's a knock on the door, permission to enter. And she says, my husband gets up and I scream, no, don't open the door. Don't open the door. But he crosses the room, he pulls the door open, and standing there is my father. And I wake up hearing myself scream. And I said, so what is it about your father that's making you scream? And she said, well, he's dead, for one thing. But the other thing is, he never loved me when he was alive. He never cared about me. He was never in my life. Why is he in my life now? And I said, well, why don't you ask him? And she said, what do you mean? I said, the next time there's a knock on the door, you go answer it, open the door, and ask him why he's showing up. She goes, no, I can't do that. I said, do you want the dreams to stop? Do you want to solve the problem? Do you want to solve that riddle of nightmare? She said, yeah. I said, okay, you do it. Call me back after it happens. I didn't hear from her for a week, Dr. Pat. I was like, oh, my gosh. But then she calls me and she goes, oh, my gosh, I feel so much better. Everything's great. I'm going back to work. I had the dream when my husband stood up at the knock at the door. I said, no, you wait. And I went to the door, and I opened it, and my father looked at me, and he said, Linda, I love you. And she says, I don't know what happened to me. I said, Daddy, I love you too. Threw my arms around his neck. The dream stopped, and I haven't had it since. It's been a week. That was the end of the therapy.
Well, this is really important conversation because a lot of times what happens is we share our dreams, we go out in the world, we tell people that are close to us, and then we have to deal with their fear too. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to talk about that. What is the best way to share our dreams? How do we share them? Who do we share them with? And even when no one is listening, how do we take action on our own behalf? Also, we have another copy of this book to give away. We've already given away the first one, 1-800-930-2819. When we come back, we'll let you know how you can get your own copy of the book, find out more about Kat, find out more about Dr. Larry. Stay tuned, everybody. When we come back, I'm going to tell you this story that baffled me the most. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Is traditional medicine not working for you? Do you still feel as if your health isn't 100%? Here at the Holistic Medical Center, Dr. Nushin Darvish and the qualified staff look through the dimensions of wellness and start a healing plan prioritized to your needs. Our physicians assess the whole you until complete health is achieved. Get the help you need by visiting drdarvish.com or call 425-451-0404.
If you're one of the millions of Americans suffering from anxiety, you probably know how powerless and out of control this emotion can make you feel. This is why it is so important to remember that anxiety is created by your mind, which means that you can learn to use your mind to uncreate it. Hello, my name is Dr. Friedman Schaub. My award-winning book, The Fear and Anxiety Solution, provides you with a step-by-step breakthrough process to understand and resolve the root causes of your anxiety and build a solid foundation of confidence and inner peace. If you're ready to take your power back, visit thefearandanxietysolution.com. That's thefearandanxietysolution.com or call 866-903-6463. That's 866-903-MIND.
Tune in to Lucid Planet Radio with Dr. Kelly Neff. This hit show will illuminate your senses and empower you beyond your daily stressors and hardships. Renowned psychologist and author Dr. Kelly will captivate you with far-reaching topics and amazing guests as you wake to the greatest version of yourself. Learn to tap into your intuitions, think critically about our world, heal emotional and psychological wounds, and follow your passions to live your dreams. The Lucid Planet. Welcome home. Visit lucidplanetradio.com for more information.
How would you like increased health and vitality? How would you like to avoid the onset of disease as well as slow the aging process? This is all possible through a simple, safe, and natural process. Every day we are either moving toward wellness or away from wellness.
Hi, I'm Mary Jane Mack. I'd like to be your partner in achieving optimal health. Contact me now at maryjanemack.com or call 425-392-0659. Visit maryjanemack.com.
Conscious Confidence Radio, a timeless wisdom with Sarah Main. Tune in each month on Transformation Talk Radio and join Sarah on an adventurous journey to the deeper level of meaning to move beyond today's world of constant change, confusion, and uncertainty beyond the shadow of fear. This hit show explores key concepts such as confidence, values, and attitude in a dynamic way. To learn more about Sarah and her work, visit sarahmain.com.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Thank you, Nathan. Welcome back, everyone. Listen, Dr. Larry joining me, Dr. Larry Burke, Kat joining me here today. I want to make sure you guys have lots of information about them because when you go to their websites, oh my God, a ton. But also, I want to make sure you know the name of the book is called Dreams That Can Save Your Life, Early Warning Signs of Cancer and Other Diseases. we'd like to give another copy of the book away, 1-800-930-2819. Now, Dr. Larry, Kat, please give out your websites again, because I know you both have great stuff there for people to check out.
Kat, you go first.
Okay. Thank you, Larry. It's Kathleen O'Keefe Cannabis. Good Irish name with a Greek one on the end. Kathleen, KATHLEENOKEEFE, Cannabis, KANAVOS.com. As soon as you get to the website, if you have purchased a book and saved your receipt, you can put the receipt number in and get a free Video 101 Dream course. And there's also I've got a number of videos on my website, including the Dr. Oz Show. So you can watch the Dr. Oz Show on my website. We're not allowed to put it, like on Facebook or Twitter or anything like that, but you can go onto my website and watch it. And I'm talking about the same thing that I'm talking about with Dr. Pat, but not quite in as much detail as I'm going into with Dr. Pat.
Mm-hmm. Wow. How about you, Dr. Larry?
And mine's LarryBurke.com or LarryBurkeMD.com, and I've got all kinds of blogs and newsletters. I've got my TEDx talk is there that you can watch. And I was going to mention that one of the things that surprised me most about the book, which since a lot of my website features my transition from conventional radiology into holistic medicine, was I was puzzled by the healing dream stories in the book from many of the particularly the breast cancer dreamers who were guided to do heavy-duty chemotherapy by their dreams. I assumed that these were going to be holistic women who are going to be guided to go to Tijuana and get Laetrile or do some other herbal or energy healing. And sure, many of them did use that as well. But many of them had dreams that guided them to get chemo, and sometimes really significant chemo, and the dreams guided them through so that they had fewer side effects. So they were using really the best of both worlds, which is what we really call integrative medicine. So,
yeah. You know what I love about this? And we were talking during a break about the Lyme community. I'm one of these people that had a dream, and the dream I had was to create a video game. And to create a video game that would enable people to be educated and informed about Lyme disease by taking the solutions and remedies that were presented to me in the dream, creating characters about them, and also creating other characters from the ticks. So this is really an interesting thing we're talking about today, because while I didn't necessarily have a dream about something specific, I had a broader dream. I wrote it down, and I literally have all the characters designed, and we're getting ready to raise funds for crowdfunding. But what do you say to folks, like in the book, that come up with a dream, and then because I'm telling you, when I told my friends that I had this game that I wanted to create about this, they thought I lost my mind for sure. What do you do to help people that have these dreams, bring it to the people that will listen and then take action about it? Because I'm very used to people telling me I lost my mind, so it doesn't bother me, right?
Well, one of the funniest stories in the book is the woman who was, the beginning of it's not funny. She's a 29-year-old woman who's dying of uterine cancer, stage 4, with a 2-year-old child. And she has a dream one night where a silver spaceship shows up in her dream. The aliens get out and whisper in her ear, she needs some interferon. and she'd been told at that point that she had only a 5% chance of survival with the regular chemotherapy. And so, and then she goes into her doctor the next day and says, could I have some interferon? And the doctor was so taken aback by the fact that she knew about an experimental drug that no way she would have heard of. This was 20-some years ago, before interferon was a popular word. He was so taken by the fact that she'd come up with the name of a drug that experimental drug that might potentially help her, that he got her some, and she got cured.
Yeah, I mean, this is really part of the journey. Kat, isn't this part of the journey for you too? Because here you are, you've now got this insight. And it's going to blow the doors off of people that are close to us and maybe people that are not. What if you found your journey? What was your journey like when you entered this realm of, I have a dream? and now you're telling the world.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting that you asked that, Dr. Pat, because, I did not tell my doctors about my dreams. So it was almost like a double-blind study. Yeah. Here I had the dreams, and I was manipulating things behind the dreams, as it were, and they were doing what was protocol in the hospital, and I kept saying to them, prove me wrong, when I would give them information. And my spirit guides during the night, these monks, would say, go back to your doctor tomorrow without an appointment. They didn't tell me to go find Swami Wami Rama Lama Ding Dong, because I would have gone and done it. They said, you go back to your doctors. So by doing that, I created a double-blind study of dreams versus first-level testing. And the dreams won, and that first-level testing failed. So what does that say? Basically, it says that there's a much higher count of just a 20% of women who don't have mammograms that show their breast cancer, because it didn't show up, third cancer didn't even show up on an MRI. So, there are many more of us out there than we're even, we're even accepting. And so this book is pointing that out. And the book is based on this double-blind study of dreams versus science in the hospital. And the dreams won every time. And we're guiding the science, not the other way around.
Yeah. This is where, as many of us have learned, and certainly the stories that you're sharing in the book, is that we have and get an insight, and we call it a dream. And so the next thing we do is, we're so clear about what the thing is. At least this is my experience with it. So clear about what it is, not only for ourselves, but what happens. And I hope that this question makes sense. What happens, Kat, when I have a dream about you, right? You know what I mean? I'm not like having a dream about me and what might be going on with me, but I'm having a dream about you, or let's say somebody close to us. How do we handle those?
Well, it might be difficult if you have a dream about somebody that you don't know, although we do have those in the book as well. But in the section of the book of Dreaming for Others, and even in the very beginning, we have mother-daughter teams where in one case, like Paulette Weiss-Broad-Goltz, she has a dream in which a voice, it's not really a dream where you're seeing things, but you actually have a voice. And we had quite a few dreams like that also in the early mornings, just as she's waking up, so she won't forget it because it's so important. And this voice said, your mother has cancer, and, oh, by the way, you have breast cancer too. And so she immediately takes her mother to the doctor, not thinking about her, but she takes her mother to the doctor and finds out she's got colon cancer and only has a few months to live. And then she thinks to herself, my gosh, if the dream was correct about my mother, is it correct about me as well? And goes and gets, the test and finds out that she does have breast cancer. And we have a number of those dreams in our book, Dreaming for Others. And yes, we can, because we're all connected to the universal oneness, that the universe is always listening. And sometimes somebody has a direct line, like a phone line to the universe, and they can get those calls in and out. Somebody else might not get them. And so it's up to them to help that other person either be diagnosed or live, or maybe they need to see that their dream that diagnosed somebody else's disease is true when it comes to diagnosing their own.
Yeah. Go ahead, Dr. Larry.
I was going to say, I think there are two questions you need to ask anytime you have a dream that might have health-related implications. First is it about me or is it about someone else, like Kat was just saying?
Yeah.
And the second question is, if it's about me, is it a dream about a real physical illness, or is it a metaphor for some emotional stress going on in my life? And there are examples of that on my TED Talk, and I've also heard stories about that from other people as well. But Ann Charles, who was one of my MRI technologists, had a dream about giving birth, but she was postmenopausal. And she thought, that's not possible. And so she thought, well, I'm a creative artist. I must be giving birth to a new creative project. And she thought that might be it. But she said, just to be sure that I don't have a physical problem, I'll ask for a clarifying dream. And that's always a good suggestion, like re-entering your dream or just asking another question about a dream image you don't understand and you want more information about the next night. And sure enough, the next night she got taken to a graveyard in Ireland. There were a headstone with daisies all around it. And she heard the dream voice say, if you don't take some action on the dream from last night, you're going to be pushing up these daisies soon. So that made her think, maybe not a creative project metaphor. Maybe I got a problem. So she went to the gynecologist, who did an ultrasound and found the endometrial cancer in the uterus. And then subsequently had the surgery, which was a vaginal hysterectomy, where they essentially deliver the cancerous uterus out through the vagina as if you're giving birth to it. So it fit her dream metaphor perfectly and saved her life. So, yeah.
Wow. Well, I think that, first of all, let me thank you both for joining me here today. And I mean, the stories in this book are captivating and fascinating to me, but they're more than that. They're validating. And they're validating for so many people that have been told, nope, it's all in your mind. Nope, it's all here. Nope, it's all there. And more importantly, for both of you, you're giving us a blueprint that says, you know what, if this is you, this is what you do. Last question for both of you, each of you rather. What's your personal message, Dr. Larry? What do you want to leave us with? And the same for you, Kat.
Well, I would say, first of all, keep a dream diary. If you have any health-related dreams that compel you to take action, have the courage to share them with your doctor. If your doctor's not open-minded, get another doctor. And also, use your dreams to guide you through this maze of high-tech medical technology that it's not perfect, it's very good, but the dreams can be a really valuable supplement or a complement, and sometimes guide us in the best use of our technology for diagnosis and for healing.
Thank you so much. Thank you for writing this, Dr. Larry. Kat, how about you?
Well, I think dreams are our sacred doorways to divine messages from passed over loved ones who don't want us to die before our time, or they want to guide us. We pray for help, and sometimes the answers for that help comes in our dreams.
Well, thank you both. Thank you both for opening the door, but also thank you for doing this study. Thank you for just bringing your expertise, your experience to the book as well. Thank you both for all that you do. Please, Dr. Burke, also Kat, websites real quick, if you could.
Yeah, so it's LarryBurke.com or LarryBurkeMD.com. And if anyone has a dream about a health experience they've had, feel free to share it either on email us through the websites or on our Facebook page, which is Dreams That Can Save Your Life.
And it's KathleenO'KeefeCannabis.com, and Dr. Larry Burke and I are getting ready to put together a second book. And gosh, Dr. Pat, we'd love to have your dream in there.
Boy, I'd love to give it to you too. I am definitely going to do that. You guys just tell me where and when, and I'm there. Thank you both so much.
Thank you.
For those of you out there, if you've missed any part of this, it'll play again tonight on the Transformation Network. The book, by the way, you're asking, Dreams That Can Save Your Life. I'm Dr. Pat. Go to the Dr. Pat Show. Thank you, Nathan, for pushing all the right buttons. And thank you all for tuning us in and turning us on every day for 15 years. It's our 15th year celebration. We'll talk to you soon. I know.
Wow.
I know, Kat. It's like, what? Yeah, this is our
preceding audio was via a Skype call.